Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please make sure to subscribe and press the bell button for future notifications on new videos I will post in the next few weeks. Today I will be explaining you how to do a CMYK separation process using Photoshop. This is for screen printing, and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm using Photoshop 2020, I believe. Just go ahead and open that and just press where it says create new file or new project. I'm going to be using the custom canvas because I want to make sure that I have a 13 by 19 dimensions for the film that I'm using. That's the dimensions of the film that I'm using. So I have 13 width and 19 height. You had to have make sure you have at least 300 or actually 300 dpi dot per inch on your resolution. Just leave it a RGB color. The background really doesn't matter. White is okay. Go ahead and press create, and there you have your canvas. So once you have completed that, let's go ahead and bring the image. I'm using an image that I got it from the internet, so this is just for demonstration purposes. So go ahead and press file and open. So if you can see, this image is a pretty good example to do a CMYK process because you have so many different colors, and in some of those cases same color, two different tones, for instance the yellow, the red, the white, the green. So we're gonna use this image as a good example, and let's see how that comes out. Once you open your image, click on it and press Ctrl C, and then go back to your side canvas, the custom canvas, and press Ctrl V. Here, because I'm gonna be printing this on a white t-shirt, I'm just gonna eyeball the size. So if you notice on the top and left corner of the canvas, you have a ruler that has measurements in inches. So let's go ahead and just bring the image right here to the corner to have an idea. So I want this to be around 11 inches wide. That's a good dimension for the t-shirt that I want to make, and I want this to be that's okay here. If you notice on the left side, it goes from 0 all the way to 19, which is that's the side of the canvas that I selected. Then I'm gonna go ahead and click on the image and drag it to the center. If you notice, there will be a horizontal and vertical pink line that tells you when the image is centered. So I'm gonna release once both are in place, and then that's it. So the next step is adding registration marks. That's very important. So because we're gonna have 4 different layers, which is the cyan, the magenta, the yellow, and the black. So let's go ahead and do that. So the easiest way to do it is using the text tool on Photoshop. So click on that, and then right here on the top you can just type the plus signs. The plus signs will give you a good approximation of that. Then you can select the side that you wanted to do. In this case I have it at 72 points. That I think that will be a pretty good size for what we need to do. And then go ahead and press the move tool. Make sure you're there, select it, and then Control copy. We're gonna duplicate, or we're gonna copy and paste this. So Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. So if you notice right here on the right lower corner where it says layers, we have 2 different layers with the text and the plus signs. Go ahead and select one of them, and then once, if you notice, there's 2 arrows, but when you go to the center it turns into an arrow. So that when that is selected, then you can move it, and we want to make sure that we move it to where we needed to place this text, right? So we can leave that in the top. That's right there in the center probably. Let me just move it a little more, right there, and then select the other layer, right, and then just bring that to the bottom. I don't know why it's not unless one is on top of the other one, but you should be able to see 2. Let me see what's going on here, guys. So if okay, I see what's going on. So only the bottom one is working. So let me delete that one. Delete layer. Yes. and let me duplicate this one. So right click, duplicate, a copy, and then now for the copy, which it should be the one that is selected right now, so let's go ahead and move it up. There you go, now it's working. So let's move it up, and then once again, when you see those lines, that means it's center and it's also aligned with the bottom one. So I think that will be perfect. So let's leave it right there. Maybe the bottom one can be moved a little lower. Perfect, release, and then that's it. So we have our registration marks, we have the image, and then the next step will be to convert the image to CMYK color. So to do that, we're gonna go ahead and press where it says image, mode, and CMYK. So right here on the top, image, mode, and then we're gonna select the option that says CMYK color. All right. Once you see this message, changing can be affected, flatten image before, then you're gonna ahead and press where it says flatten, and then press OK. Right. So it looks like nothing happened, but in the background it actually did. So right here on the right side, you'll see that if you press right here where it says channel, you have the image, this one right here, and then you have the 4 different channels: the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Okay, so the next step, it will be adjusting the canvas size, which we already did, right? But if you haven't done it at this point, then you will have to adjust the canvas size to the size that you need it to be for your print. By the way, if you forgot to do that in the very beginning, you can do it here. How will you do that? Well, you go to where it says image and image size. So image, image size, and then right here you will go ahead and press, enter this dimensions that you need. But I'm not going to do it because I already did that in the very beginning, so I just wanted to show you in case you forgot. So next step will be, as I was explaining, on the right side panel, you have the channels option, and you have a window here that have different options, drop down, not a drop down menu, but different options. So what you want to do is in that panel, you want to go ahead and click where it says split channels, and then what this is going to do, split channels, it will create different. If you notice now, I have the original image, and then I also have one window for each one of the channels. So this is the cyan, then I have one for magenta, one for yellow, and one for black. All right. We're almost done, guys. The next step, it will be for each one of these channels, like for black, for magenta, for cyan, we're gonna do a few steps that I would like you to pay close attention. So the first thing we're gonna do, let's start with the, it doesn't matter which order you select, I just want to start with the black. So make sure you select the tab on the top that says black, and then go ahead and press where it says image, mode, bitmap. So image right here on the top, mode, and then there's an option that says bitmap. Click on that. So this window is going to open. In my case, because I have been doing separations in other projects, I already have these settings by default. You might see something different, but just make sure that the output that you have is 300 dpi or pixels inch right here, and then also make sure that under the method, the drop down menu, you have selected half-tone screen. Okay, so 300 dpi and half-tone screen. Let's go ahead and press OK, and then this is very important. So for all the channels for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, the frequency is going to be 15. The angle is the one that's going to change depending on the color. So frequency is going to be 15 for all the channels, but the angle is going to change. So for black, we're going to go ahead and change the angle to 45 degrees. Okay, and then the shape of the dots, we want it to be round for all of them. So frequency 15, angle for black color is going to be 45 degrees, and the shape is going to be round. Go ahead and press OK. That's it. So we have done that. We're going to go ahead and repeat the same process for yellow, for magenta, and for cyan. So if we go now to yellow, make sure you're selecting the right channel, yellow. Again, go ahead where it says image, mode, and bitmap. Make sure the output is 300 dpi, halftone screen, press OK. Fitting frequency is going to be common for all of them, but the angle is going to change. So for yellow, the angle is going to be 0 degrees, so I change that to 0. Shape is round as well, press OK. Now let's go ahead and go to magenta. Again, it's the same process. Image, mode, bitmap, 300 dpi, halftone screen, press OK. And the angle for magenta is going to be 75 degrees. Press OK. And let's do the last one, which is cyan. So image, mode, bitmap. This is the same settings. Press OK. And the angle for cyan is going to be 15 degrees. Alright, let's go ahead and press OK. We are almost done. So we have applied all this setting to each one of the channels. So the last step will be to save each one of them so we can print it out. So to save each one of the separations, we're gonna go ahead and let's again start with the black. It doesn't matter the order. So select the channel that you want to save, and then go ahead and press where it says save as. So file, go to the option that says save as, right? We want to save this on the computer, so on the right side say on your computer. Go ahead and locate where do you want to save this. I'm gonna do it on my desktop for now, and then I'm just gonna give this a name. Let's call it just a color, black, and it's gonna be yeah, just CMYK black. That's fine. CMYK black. Oh, they should actually call it vintage because it's a vintage image. So vintage and black. We're gonna save it on the desktop. Also make sure that you save this as a PDF. So where it says save as type, this is a drop down menu. Go ahead and scroll down to where it says Photoshop PDF. So select that, that's very important, and then go ahead and press save. You'll see another window pops. Just go ahead and press OK on that one, and then on this window right here, the PDF type, I like to have this right here where it says compatibility. It's Acrobat A. This is, I don't think it's relevant. I just like to select Acrobat A. So go ahead and select that, but make sure the options, these two are checked. The preserve for Photoshop editing compatibility, make sure that's checked, and make sure that they optimize for fast web preview, let's just leave it checked as well. And then go ahead and press save PDF and confirm by pressing yes. So if I take you back to the screen right here, you will see that the image was saved right here. It's a vintage black. Let's go ahead and open it. This is right here, the black one. You see the registration marks, and you see the channel black. The same process will repeat for the rest of the colors. I'm gonna do it one more time, and then you will repeat the same for the other two colors. So go ahead and press where it says yellow, file, save as, right here, and then go ahead and save on your computer. Give it a name. So I'm gonna give it vintage yellow. Select the location. I'm gonna put it on the desktop, and make sure that you save it as a PDF, Photoshop PDF. Okay, press save, press OK. You should by now, it should bring the configuration of the previous file, so it should be already Acrobat A, and these two options should be already checked for you. Press save PDF and confirm. So now you should have that file as well saved right here. So, but I already did this process, and I'm going to show you. Basically, this is the image that will be printing in CMYK. Just give it a few seconds for this to open. But the idea of having you know, these separations is that if you don't have, of course, one of those RIP softwares that can do this, then you can do it manually. So this is the image that we will be doing, and let me open each one of the colors. So this is the black, which I already showed you. Then this is the cyan. Let's open this right here, and then just give it a second. Okay, no, it's not open. What's going on? Okay, right here, the cyan. Let's go ahead and open magenta and yellow. So if you notice, each one of them already have, it had the dots. It looked like a halftone separation, which that's what it is. And then, but it's separating into the 4 different colors that we are interested in. So ideally you want to do this on very light. Actually, you want to do this on light colored t-shirt. For best result, you have to use a white t-shirt to do this. You can also use light colors t-shirt, or you can do an underbase to print the CMYK process. In my case, I only have a 4-color screen printing press, so I don't have that option to do the white underbase and then the 4 colors. So I'm forced to use either a white t-shirt or light color garments, which will work as well. So this is the first section of the video, and I'm gonna stop it right here, but I want to show you also the whole process on how I did this. So what you will have to do now is print this out. I'm not gonna cover this. I'm using an Epson. Is it an Epson or a Canon? Just give me 1 second. I'm using IX680. So I'm using the Canon IX8620. Let me see if I got that right. 8620. Sorry, 6820. So Canon IX6820. This is a large format printer. It's actually 13 by 19. You can put large transparency films to print this out. And then even though I'm not going to show you how I print this, because I think this is actually the easiest part, I'm going to show you my settings on the printer. So if you go ahead and press File and then Print, go ahead and select your printer. Let's just give it a few seconds. So I'm using the Canon IX6800 series, even though it's 6820, but this is the driver that came with that printer. If I click where it says property, I want to show you, I already have it here by default, 13 by 19. But just make sure that the media type you're using is a matte photo paper, so make sure to select that. The printing quality is a high quality. Also, make sure that you have the correct size. In my case, I'm using the 13 by 19 film, and then this is just by default the printer. It will take it from the rear tray. So press OK, and then you have it right here. So I have it to say fit the page, and then at this point I will go ahead and press print, and it will come out to the printer. So let me show you how that transparency came when I print it out. So I have already all of the 4 transparency done here. Let me show you. So the one that you're seeing right now is the black one. So I forgot to put the marks, so I put a K. I don't know if you can, well, you probably cannot see that right now because the side of the camera and the view is too small, but I already have them all of there here. So on the very top, right next to the registration mark, I put a letter. That letter indicates the colors, so yellow for white for yellow, and for magenta, cyan, and then for black I put a K. So the 4 transparencies are ready, and I just need to go ahead and take it to the to do the burn the screens. So I'm not going to show you how I burn the screen, but I will show you how I set up this on my screen printing press, and I will also show you when I go ahead and apply the color to each one, so you can see the final result. So I'm going to pause the video and continue showing you. You will see almost immediately the next phase of this process. Alright guys, so this is the part you probably want to see. I went ahead and set up the screens, register everything, and using a white Bella Canvas t-shirt. As I mentioned before, you want to make sure there is a light color Ideally, you want to print this CMYK on a white t-shirt. That makes your colors be brighter. That's how actually it's going to look better. The other thing you have to keep in mind is the order in which you're going to print each one of the colors. So these colors are going to be wet on wet, and then you want to start with the lightest color to the darkest color. So in that order, you're going to start with yellow, then you're going to do magenta, cyan, and black. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate, do the print here very quick. The other thing that I do, and you can compare it to see what works best for you, but I like to do 2 passes to make sure that I have enough ink and the colors are vibrant. You don't have to do this. I actually don't know if people do this, but I noticed that in my case, for the images and the projects that I have been doing, it works best when I do that. So let's go ahead and start with the yellow. So make sure you flush your screen. The other thing I wanted to mention, I'm using the screen is 305, very fine mesh count, and the idea is so it can capture all the details on the print. So once you flood the screen, you can go ahead and do your first pass. So medium to medium press. Medium press is fine. So I did that the first time. I'm gonna flood it again. Once again, this is optional, but I noticed that it works real good for my projects. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a 2 pass. All right, so let's move to the next color, which is going to be magenta. So let's do the same thing. Actually, let me go ahead and bring you closer to the design so you can see better how everything is working. And then all right, so let's go ahead and do the second color. So just flush and then do the pass. Make sure that the pressure you're applying is even on both passes. On the second one, you don't have to push too much. The first one, I usually do a little more pressure. All right, that's magenta. Let's move to the next one, which is cyan. I'm using the ink that I'm using is special for this process. Is from Total Ink Solution. I'll show you in a little bit the containers in case you're interested. All right, that's one. Let's do the other one very quick. Should I add more ink? But it's just one t-shirt that I'm making today, so let's. All right, and let's do the last one. So for the last one, I'm gonna do 2 passes as well, but I'm gonna do the first one, and then I'm gonna use a heat gun to cure it a little bit, and then I'm gonna do the second one. And by doing this, you'll see that the colors will pop more. So let's do the first one. You'll see in a minute what I mean by that. All right. So that's the first pass, and it's looking pretty good, but you will see the difference. Let me get the heat gun very quick. You don't have to do this for that long. I just want to do it so that the black ink gets a little dry, and all the ink in general, but I'm mainly concerned with the black color. But so far it's looking pretty good. This is it's a pretty simple process, but some people struggle. I myself had issues with when I started
when I started and I tried to do CMYK process. Like I mentioned in the video, I tried different softwares, but I just the one that works best for me is Photoshop and the process that I explained before. So let's go ahead and I think that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and give it the last pass. You'll see the difference once we complete that. Alright, look at that, guys. That is pretty good. So let me just cure a little bit and I'll show you the end result. This is actually not too bad to be only 4 colors that we're using here. You can see the details. You can see at least 7 different tones of color. Let me go ahead and see if I can zoom in. Alright, guys, you can see we have green, we have yellow, orange, we have 2 tones of red, we have 2 tones of green, 2 tones of brown, we have blue, we have purple, we have another green. I mean, it's incredible the effect and the colors you can produce with this process. And and if you notice the dots, one thing that I'm going to try changing is the how big those dots are. I think that can actually help us look the image a little more clean, but at the same time it could also cause issues when you're trying to expose these grains because of the dots will be very, very small. But like I say, this is not too bad to be one of the first designs that I tried with this process. I just wanted to share with you. Let me bring this back, and then hopefully that helps you. And then just give it a try. Let me show you very quick the ink that I use, and then we probably will end that video there because that's everything that I wanted to show you for today. So this is the ink from Total Ink Solutions. Let me make sure you can see that. Yes, you can. You have a process yellow, then the magenta, cyan, and black, and then pretty good. I noticed that this ink, and I think that's the case for this type of process, is very like running. It's a very running ink, so you have to actually be careful when you're dealing with this, because otherwise you will get it everywhere. But let me cure a little bit, and then just show you the last time, so you can see how this came out. Pretty good. Oh, sorry guys. So if you enjoyed the video and if you find this helpful, just make sure to like